Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today, something a little different. Today I'm talking about Babylon 5, Signs and Portents by Jane Killick. This is a comprehensive episode-by-episode guide to the first thrilling season of Babylon 5. And it has a foreword by Michael O'Hare, who played Commander Sinclair in the first season of Babylon 5. So, a little bit about why I read this, other than the fact that I'm a huge fan of Babylon 5. Aconite Books, if you watch my reviews, you know that I've been reading Aconite Books because they publish original Marvel Comics novels. There's a Squirrel Girl novel coming out, and I am so excited. But they do original Marvel Comics novels, as well as novels based on board games and some video games and stuff. They do the Arkham Horror books, and Legends of the Five Rings, Zombicide, Descent, Assassin's Creed, all sorts of great stuff. And I read the first book based on the Terraforming Mars board game. It was by Jane Killick, and it was fantastic. My review's already been posted, so that's probably the video that'll be up in whichever corner or wherever the little box goes at the end of the video. But I read it. I loved it. Looked into Jane Killick, found out she had written 5 volumes of this guide to Babylon 5, and so I immediately-ish had to wait till I had the money. Ordered all 5. And so, what we have here is the first one. First season. And this one goes into how the show came to be. I'm just going to look inside at the table of contents. So, the first chapter after the foreword is getting Babylon 5 into orbit. So that's the story of how it came to be. J. Michael Straczynski coming up with the idea, finding the backing, finding the team, finding everything, getting a network, everything that went into getting Babylon 5 made. Then we have the next chapter is Babylon 5's first season, which is an overview of, again, some behind-the-scenes stuff, what J. Michael Straczynski and his team were trying to accomplish, hits the beats of the season. And then after that, we get into the episode guide, which is essentially 23 episodes, because we had the pilot, and then 22 episodes of the first season. The pilot, this is one of those cases where the pilot was made and shown, and it was like 9 months later before the show itself hit the air. And there are cast changes and things that you immediately see. And I just found out this is on HBO Max. And I've already watched a bunch of episodes from the first season. And there's, I don't know why, there's a huge difference in quality between the pilot and then the series itself. And it has to be that they just didn't upgrade. That's not the word I'm looking for, but remaster the pilot. Because... or maybe they shot it in low def and then shot the rest in high. I don't know. Huge difference. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we have this episode guide. It goes through every episode of the first season, and it gives a synopsis. A pretty heavy synopsis. There are spoilers. It tells you, again, all the major beats of the episode. And then it gets into the behind-the-scenes stuff, things that maybe ended up on the cutting room floor. There's a lot of stuff from the actors and the producers and the directors and things, quotes from them, I assume from interviews, where they talk about, we wanted to do this, but ended up having to do that, or I came up with this on the spot because this wasn't working, or the actors and the choices they made. And as someone who loves all this behind-the-scenes stuff and loves this show, I loved this book. It's fantastic. Of course, it's not going to be for everyone. If you're not a fan of Babylon 5 or science fiction at all, or behind-the-scenes stuff, this isn't going to be the book for you. But if, like me, you are a fan, I recommend this. I highly recommend this. Somewhere are the other 4 lurking. Oh, there they are. They're down there. And I'll be periodically sprinkling these in as I read everything else I have to read. It's quick, and I've seen the whole show. I don't know if there's anything that covers there were 3 or 4 made-for-TV movies that filled in certain story points, and there was the spin-off Crusade. I don't know if any of that's covered, or if it's just straight up the 5-season series of Babylon 5. But yeah, really, really good book. Don't remember what I gave it on Goodreads because it's been a while since I actually finished reading it. It had to be 4 out of 5. I can't imagine I'd give it anything else. As episode guides go, and I've read a few, this is a really good one. It, again, tells you, covers the episode, and then gives you lots and lots of really interesting behind-the-scenes stuff. So that's Babylon 5, Signs and Portents, Jane Killick, 4 out of 5 stars. And you know what? I'm going to ask you a question this video. Are you a fan of Babylon 5? It's a very simple question. I think I've already answered it. Loved that show. I started watching it when I found out that Harlan Ellison was a creative consultant on the show. So I came in season 2, I think. It is a tough show to pick up in the middle because it is so tightly scripted. There are standalone episodes, but there are huge overarching stories. There might be a line of dialogue in season 1 that seems like a throwaway line that becomes a major plot point in later seasons. Amazing show. J. Michael Straczynski, had a 5-year Bible, I believe, before they even started making the show. He was, I believe, in the Guinness Book of World Records because he wrote the most hour-long TV episodes in a row. One of the seasons, he wrote the entire season, 22 episodes, and I think maybe the entire next season was like 44 episodes in a row, all written by a single person for an hour-long show. So yeah, not an easy show to jump into. I did, and had to stick it out. It didn't take long for me to get to know the characters and everything, and then find, and this is when it was actually still on the air, so it wasn't like in heavy rotation or anything. I had to find the earlier episodes that I hadn't seen. But yeah, I absolutely love the show. I've never understood why Sheldon on Big Bang Theory doesn't love it. It's one of the, as a layman, I'm going to say one of the most scientifically based shows. The way the starship, the way their battle cruisers or whatever you want to call them, the way they work, the way the station itself works, much more scientifically accurate than a lot of other huge sci-fi shows. Yeah, easily in my top 5 sci-fi shows. Possibly in the top 2. But what do you think? Were you a fan? Are you a fan of science fiction TV at all? Are you a fan of episode guides? Do you not care? You just watch the shows and then you're done? I like all the extra knowledge poured into my brain. Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K. ERIKSMITH 5757. that's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.